Ducks history.
Steve Richard and the Ducks have eliminated the defending Stanley Cup winners.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Mighty Ducks Classics. I'm John Allers along with Brian Hayward as we look back at some of the greatest games in the history of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And tonight we go to June 7th, 2003. June hockey for the Mighty Ducks can only mean one thing, Brian. Stanley Cup Finals, Game 6 against the New-Jersey Devils. The hangover is over. The 10-day break, and the Ducks don't score a goal in the first 2 games in New Jersey. They come home, they get 2 back. And then Game 5, they go to New Jersey. Unlike any other game we'd seen in the series up until then, however, the Ducks aren't able to get it done on the road in a game where it looked like maybe they were going to get that road magic back.
Yeah, you thought at first that they were going to win that hockey game because they actually scored first, and so far in that series, any team who scored first actually ended up winning the game. But from the time that they scored the opening goal of the hockey game, Anaheim did not play very well.
So now for the first time in the playoffs, in the springtime, the Ducks are facing elimination, and this is something that Mike Babcock addresses with his hockey club because he hasn't had to deal with it yet.
And I think what is in the back of Mike Babcock's mind is we need to get a power play goal. 5 games have gone by the wayside. They have yet to score on the power play. New Jersey, with all that experience and so many Stanley Cups that are sitting in that locker room, are expected to find a way to win Game 6. But Anaheim found a way to get this game won, and you know what? I was very impressed with the opening period from the Ducks because they look very relaxed.
Once again, as was the case in Game 5, a series that had been played tight to the vest, very defensive, opens up, as we'll see in this game as well. But Mike Babcock always focuses, and throughout this season and playoff run had focused as well on his team. And he doesn't really address the opponent so much. He talks to his club before this game and says, boys, it's up to us. It's our choice. We can be tight or we can play loose.
Yeah, and I think out of the corner of his eye, he's probably looking down at the captain, Paul Kariya, and he's thinking to himself, maybe not saying it out loud, he's thinking, are you going to get a couple of goals in tonight's game? Because Kariya was very, very quiet in this series to this point. Every time that he stepped on the ice, of course, he was matched up against the Devils' best defensive defenseman in Scott Stevens. They're going to have quite an altercation later in this game tonight. But I'll tell you what, Paul Kariya, this may have been the most impressive game of Paul Kariya's career, and you're going to have an awful lot of fun watching it.
Maybe the quintessential game that somehow defines his career despite all the great accomplishments he has had throughout his career. It's the game where Paul Kariya is concerned. The Cup is in the house at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll take you to June 7th, 2003, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Ducks and the New Jersey Devils. After the break, with the call from ABC Sports, it'll be Gary Thorne, John Davidson, and Billy Clement.
Stanley's Cup.
That is a very good question, and I feel that the Stars, by the way, in my mind, are on the ice. And I think that if the Ducks can handle the big, rugged players, if Stevenson is on the ice to start for the Devils, if the Ducks can handle that big size, they have a chance.
And I think it will boil down to Brodeur and Giguère.
Nieuwendyk unable to play tonight. He is here. The Devils, of course, with a chance to win the Cup, have brought all of their players are on hand here tonight. Ozolinьsh takes it back in behind the net. There are no changes in either of the lineup for tonight's game. And as has been true on home ice in this series, Mike Babcock gets his big 3 scorers together with Sikora, Kariya, and Adam Oates starting tonight on a line that'll probably be out there a lot and stay together. In the corner, that's Oates who partially deflected the puck. Rayom helped to hold it in, taken by Breland, trying to get Stevenson. Stevenson goes to the corner, suffered the hit along the near side boards. Rayom got it back to him, looking for Breland. Stevenson lost it. Paul Kariya picks it up.
Message sent right there by Ruslan Saleh and the Mighty Ducks. That return is Stevenson, and they just ripped him into the boards.
And a whistle, that'll be an offside as the Devils tied it up. 13 years between Stanley Cup Finals for Pat Burns. Does he finally get his name on the cup?
1 game away from it. He knows how hard it is to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. 3 times he has been Coach of the Year, winning the Adams Trophy during the regular season. But he made it to the Cup Finals in his rookie season and has not been back since. Now he is 1 win away.
Cleared up the near side wall and out for the Devils. It'll be dumped in. Jamie Langenbrunner, 15 out there for the Devils. He's the leading scorer in the playoffs and a Conn Smythe candidate. Dumped to the wide side, sent in by Nick Hobler. The Conn Smythe going to the most valuable player for his team in the playoffs. Played back up along the boards, but not out of the zone. Howland able to hold it in. Down low, Mike Leclaire. Leclaire trying to reverse direction. Pretty good shot put on him as he got tied up. Stevens tied him up. Leclaire trying to run it in. Brodeur knocked it away, but they got the puck down low and a pile up in the paint. Devils return in a hurry. 3-on-3. Center. Just picked out of the stick on the near side. Jeff Friesen was cutting. Friesen's had 3 goals in this series. Bounces away to Steve Ruchin to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer dumps it in.
Guys, you notice the Ducks had their top 2 lines on the ice already, and Madden has not been on the ice against them. So Pat Burns is not going to worry about changing on the fly. He wants his team to have flow, not get caught changing all the time.
And over to Thomas, it comes from Cheestov. Cheestov, Thomas, and Ozolinьš, the defensemen, were up on the rush. Gomez bats it around the far side. Up to the point, Marshall had it, lost it. Gomez kicked it away. The Devils in that last game showed their team speed. Saved Brodeur and Thomas's chance. They've got some out there right now. Davidovsky got it up into the middle. Lost as Elias could not handle. Cleared back off the near side wall. Patrick Elias has had half of his 12 playoff points in this series. He is the leading scorer in the series for either team. Marshall sends it out of there. Sauer will give chase. Sauer's back. Banged it off the wall. Both teams changing it up. Near side for Paulson. Davy Paulson wanted to move it in. Got rubbed out along the wall by Colin White. Cleared back up off the glass. Was Blair able to hold it in? His chance blocked. Right in front, loose. Ooh, that was close. Niedermeyer and White ran into each other.
Devils start using 4 lines. 4 lines. Never all the travel. The Ducks are going with 3.
Near side boards and in. Niedermeyer got it in, but that's going to be an offside.
The message that Mike Babcock, the head coach of the Mighty Ducks, sent to his players this morning in a meeting was pretty simple. He said we can be tight and tentative, or we can be loose and driving. Play our game, guys. We have to be loose, and we have to be a driving team. This team only worries about their play.
You would think that they have to win it at even strength, Bill, because they've only had 9 power play chances in 5 games.
This is a 5-on-5 series.
Yeah, it seems to be, doesn't it?
And the Devils have had the advantage in that. The Devils are a plus 14, 5-on-5, while the Ducks are plus 7, 5-on-5. Friesen in the middle. Friesen taken out of the play. Played by Jaguar to the near side. Good defensive play by Soleil, who took Friesen out. Back is Jason Crow. Crow, top of the circle. Shot wide. Brodeur had no idea where it was. Langenbrunner looking to move it out. They had an odd man rush going. Oh, Friesen was up ice as they were on a defensive change for the Ducks. Intercepted Krog, lost it. Friesen sends it in. Devils will complete a line change. Sandis Ozolinьš comes back to get it. Ozolinьš has had an outstanding series for the Ducks. 3 points, leads the Ducks in points in this series. Pretty amazing.
He's already tried to crush 2 bodies out there. So Sandis Ozolinьš is part of what the game plan is for the Mighty Ducks. They didn't think they responded well enough to the aggressive play that the Devils had in Game 5. They want to beat them with a punch here in 6.
Madden is out there now. JD talking about the man right there, number 11, Madden. Paul Correa had it taken away. Stevens has been out there as much as possible. The Devils defenseman against Paul Correa throughout this series. He's out there now. There's Stevens who batted it away. Came loose. Madden overskated. Sikora picks it up. Gets it off to Paul Correa. Correa, Sikora trailer. Correa waits, goes wide side. Hit Madden. Came to the blue line. Chance. Deflected shot. Ducks take the lead.
Don't tell me we're going to have another weird one like we did the other night. That went in off the laces of Scott Stevens.
Game 5, the Ducks had the puck shot at their net all game long, and there was weird bounces. So you know what? Why not do it to the other team? Here's the shot off the leg, over the leg of Brodeur. 1-0 Ducks, and it was nothing fancy at all.
No, Scott Stevens, I'm sure, would like that back because he turned, and he couldn't have deflected it more perfectly had he been trying to put it in the net. Just like Mike Leclaire did with his own stick on Jaguar in Game 5, Stevens starts Game 6 like that here.
Both of these teams are learning the adage is true. If you get the puck towards the net, you got a chance to score. That off the side of the net, right back into the middle, picked back up by Niedermeyer. Steve Ruchin will be credited with a goal. Shot, save made Jaguar on Scott Niedermeyer. Held in by Stevenson to Breland, and the pace picks up again. Breland wants to come around the net. The Ducks with a 1-0 lead, looking in front. A lot of screening, picking. Stevenson can't get it through, though. Dumps it into the corner behind the net. Patrick an empty net to shoot it. Rolls out to center.
Well, we got to see the replay of that.
I still can't figure out where the puck went.
To wrong hit. It looked from here like it had a chance to have been in, but I think it was an optical illusion. We'll see it on the replay, but Turner Stevenson just about tied the game.
Two good shifts for that line. Rayold, Stevenson, and Breland.
Here comes Elias, leading scorer in the series. Banks it into the middle. Just wide of the net. Set up on the near side for Marshall. Gomez has it. Back for Marshall again. Marshall goes to the corner. Taken out by Paul Correa. Puck loose near side. Devils swarming after they fall behind. The goal at 4:26 by Ruchin is second of this series. Sixth of the playoffs. Correa, Sikora the assist. Now the attempted out. Oates gets it and clears. Stevens back in his own end as the Ducks withstand a flurry after they got the lead.
Remember, the Mighty Ducks scored first in Game 5, and for the first time in the playoffs when scoring first, they lost. They have scored first here to make it 1-0. It looked like an innocent play. It was, until Scott Stevens became a factor, and then later the Devils tried and just missed.
Upstairs, Ruchin, who now leads the Mighty Ducks in goals scored, 6. One ahead of Correa, has given the Ducks a 1-0 lead, but boy, was this close.
Except for a post. It came through Giguère, and he got a piece of it, and he got the post to help him.
Great setup at full marks to Giguère for even getting a piece, and then a little luck behind him. And as he said this morning, you get luck if you work hard.
He has gone 18-8-5, Giguère has, during the regular season and playoffs, coming back after a Ducks loss. That's what he's trying to do here in this one and extend the series to 7. Picked up Davidovsky on the far side. We'll move it out for the Devils to Mike Rupp. Rupp gains the red, sends that one in, bounces off Cheestop. Cheestop right back onto the zone intended for Paulson. Davidovsky back in his own end. Davidovsky 3 assists so far in the playoff year. Rupp takes the hit from Thomas. Got spun around. Cheestop joined in. Puck came loose. Behind the play, a hand pass call. And we'll check in with Samantha Ryan. Sam.
And someone is having a lot of fun tonight. Cuba Gooding Jr., he's played a football player in the movies. How long have you been a hockey fan?
All I have to say is, nah. Let's get jiggy with it. Let's get jiggy with it. Let's get jiggy.
The preceding was not transcribed.
Oh, easiest interview Sam's ever done. Just plant the seed and let him go.
Get the heck out of the way.
He was a pretty good hockey player. I've seen him play. He skated for charity at Madison Square Garden in New York and plays very well.
Meyer gets it up intended for Breland. Giguère came out to play it. Sauer. Breland moved in on him, but Sauer got it up the boards and out. Jason Krog. Schwinnard. Schwinnard leaves it off the far side. Knocked away. Niedermeyer. What a series again for Scott Niedermeyer. +6. That one coughed up. Ozolynch's shot blocked right there. Ozolynch got it back. Poke checked away from him. Good play by Rayom, who helped out. Turner Stevenson on the wall. Got kicked behind the Devils' net. Marty Brodeur looking to become the 4th winningest goaltender in playoff history. If he can get a W here, he's tied with Belfort all time in playoff wins. But the Ducks got the early lead, and White took the early hit trying to get off the ice. Almost lost behind the net. Sauer came back to get it. Moved up near side. Ruchin has got the goal. Ruchin had it flipped away. Ruchin trying to move it in. Lost it. Played behind the net to Rafalski. Rafalski and the attempted clear. Gianna got it out of there. Back to get it. Hoblet in his own end. Nick Hoblet takes it in behind the net. Devils a couple of forecheckers up, including Madden. Madden trying to tie it up. Outstanding play. Madden got the puck. Madden center. Just missed Gianna. Picked up by Niedermeyer. Rob Niedermeyer clears it out. Colin White's got to come back to get this. Keep in mind, both teams have lost only 1 game this playoff year at home. These Mighty Ducks have been so defensive-minded on their home ice. They have given up 11 goals in 9 games here. That one lost. Nobody knew where it was. Niedermeyer lost it. Elias tip, side, rebound, Gomez shot. Save made by Giguère.
All right, Niedermeyer's got to move the puck off the boards and out. He hesitated. The Devils are quick. And all of a sudden, the puck is deflected into the goaltender, Giguère, who had a little trouble trying to find it. Look at that.
Watch what happens here, too. Ruslan Saleh overshoots his target. Watch when Gomez goes for the rebound. There comes Saleh. Whoop, he missed him. And that gave Gomez a rebound shot.
Elias made a good quick play. Up high. Gomez, I saw Gomez today, guys, at the hotel. I said, what are you doing? How are you feeling? He said, I got to go watch the ball game. He had to go watch the Cubs and the Yankees. By the way, he was telling 2-time MVP in Anchorage of the slow pitch league there, co-ed. Making sure he tells everybody.
Wanted it filled in, didn't he?
Yeah, he said the first time I deserved it, the second time he says I think it was on reputation alone.
What? Why do you think he played to begin with?
Co-ed.
Yeah, that's right.
He's just stupid.
Smart Alaskan kid.
Bounced in the air to Adam Oates. Oates could not control. Taken back in behind the net for Stevens, and a penalty coming off the near side boards.
I think it's Elias. You know, I think he leads his team in penalty minutes in the playoffs, and he goes for 2. The Ducks are up by 1.
26 New Jersey. Obstruction. Interference.
Brad Watson and Dan Maruelli are referees.
We'll take a look at it here. Paul Correa trying to get by. Yeah, if it hadn't been 4 hits, Dan Maruelli looked like he was going to let him go after 3, but he came back at him with a 4.
First one was fine. Then 2, 3, and 4. The Ducks are 0 for 9 in the series, and here on home ice, 0 for 3.
This has not been a power play playoff. Save made from Newell. Soleil's chance. Kicked back against the boards by Pandolfo. Soleil trying to hold it in. Did Niedermeyer came up, lost it. 2-on-1 short-handed. Don't you know it? Pandolfo leaves it in. Shot saved by Jaguar.
How big is that? How big is that?
Scott Niedermeyer in a 2-on-1 with Jay Pandolfo.
Scott Niedermeyer is one of the greatest skating defensemen in the history of the sport, and he showed it here. If it's not Madden jumping up, it's Scott Niedermeyer, top of the screen. He senses it, green light. Nobody going to catch him. See how he opened up so that Pandolfo could hit him on the forehand?
Good job by Ozolinьš back. He made sure there was no pass, so it's an angle shot, and Jaguar's got to play the shooter. Great job defensively. That was Soleil playing the point on the power play who got caught off ice.
Ozolinьš had pretty good confidence in Jaguar there, didn't he? He left him wide open for Niedermeyer, like, Jiggy, he's all yours.
Mighty Ducks have given up only 1 short-handed goal in the playoffs this year. Still on a power play here. They are 0 for 15 against the Devils this year in the regular season playoffs combined. They've not scored a power play goal against New Jersey all year. Thomas gets it from Correa, sends it around the net, cleared back up and out of the zone. Pandolfo to Madden. Madden kicks it off the boards, followed by Ruchin. He's got Stevens with him. Stevens gets tied up. Scott Stevens, who doesn't join the offense very often, got taken down, and he gets caught back up ice from center on the gun in by Sikora. Sikora following it up, can't be moved out of the zone. They'll try and get it set up here with a minute left on the advantage. It's been the Devils who've had the chances. Power play for the Ducks. Far side is Thomas. Steve Thomas looking in front. They've got Ruchin set up in the middle. Correa's playing a point. All Correa's on the blue line right there. Correa winds up, fakes it, pass in the lane. Shot, hit the outside of the net. Thomas back up onto the point, held in. Outlet dumped it off the wall, and again, short-handed. Madden's already up ice. Played off the boards for him, but he's going to get a line change.
You know, Paul Correa told me he's going to shoot more. He said he was going to shoot more in this game.
He was lying to you.
Yeah, he didn't tell the truth. Those Maine Black Bears, I don't know, Gary.
That play had a lot of potential, though. Steve Thomas took it and had a good scoring chance from the side.
Yeah, Brodeur was actually leaning. Yeah, I think that short side shot was a great idea by Thomas.
White got it out of there. Power play down to 15 seconds left on it. Incredibly, in the series, the Ducks have only had 16 minutes and 48 seconds worth of power play time. That's how few penalties and opportunities there have been in the series. That one's going to be offside with 1 second left on the penalty to the Devils. This broadcast also available in high definition. Great to have you with us here on ABC for our exclusive coverage of Game 6.
A couple of things I think have worked against Anaheim as far as their power play is concerned in this series. Number one, the guys that you're looking at sitting in red, sensational penalty killing, number 1 in the NHL regular season. The other thing is, JD, you said they've had 9 power plays in the first 5 games of the series. How do you establish any rhythm at all? How does Paul Correa, Adam Oates, you need to get out there to end up with any rhythm, and they haven't had enough practice at it.
3 shots on that power play for the Ducks, but they do not convert, so the Devils have now killed off. They've given up only 2 in the last 42 chances by the opposition. That's how good the penalty killing in New Jersey's been.
Guys, Cheestoff has been physical, boy. He's banging guys. He's taking the body. He's a young kid. Early 20s, was quiet in Game 5 in New Jersey, but in this game, he has been involved, and you have to be to counter the Devils' size.
He took a shot at Darian Hatcher during the regular season in one of the early games for the Ducks, which is when they knew Cheestoff was going to be one of their future stars. Hatcher had decked him, had gone to the bench. Cheestoff went over and found him and took a stick to him up high, and they said, that's it. That's why we got him. Rupp almost got leveled at center ice. He and Swadar did battle. Played back in the zone by the Ducks. A 1-0 lead. If the Ducks can win this, there will be a Game 7 Monday night. If the Devils win it, we will see Lord Stanley's Cup. The Stanley Cup on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Welcome back to Anaheim, where we're keeping an eye on Paul Kariya, the star player, to see how much room he's getting out there. This is a very key situation for him, and he needs to be able to get open.
If you get open on a penalty shot like Bure did, you're going to be one of the rare opportunities in Stanley Cup playoff final history. Richter denied.
Yeah, there has been 7 penalty shots in finals history. That was the last one. That was back in '94. And by the way, the goaltenders are what? 7 for 7, baby.
Move back into the middle. Paul Kariya's got an assist, cutting to the net. Here's Sikora. Sikora stripped to the puck. Elias over to get it. Elias cleared it around the near side. Havlet batted at it to help hold it into the zone. Couldn't keep it there, though. It'll be moved back out. Graham Marshall. Elias, room. Elias to Marshall. Marshall tip blocked by Paul Kariya. Elias back for Marshall. He was tied up in the corner. Turnaround shot wide of the net by Gomez. It'll be stepped up. Tip on. Jaguar makes a save. Elias was very high, but deflected that. That was not an easy chance. Sent back off the boards. Look at those bounces. JD talked about that last time we were here. You never know where that puck's going to go.
Both these goaltenders have said that they will stay in the net unless they're dead sure. They will not leave the net. In fact, Jaguar said in this building it's the worst glass in the league, so don't build it. They like to taste the glass.
Sauer touches that one up, and we'll check in with Brian England. Brian?
Well, a moment ago we saw Paul Kariya disguised as Pavel Bure, but we've been keeping an eye on him here in this game to see how much room he's getting. And guys, the same old story. He's just not getting any room out there at all. Sometimes his own guys are in the way. He has drawn a penalty in the game so far, but every time he gets any open ice at all and gets the puck, everything gets shut down. They need to find number 9 quickly.
Yeah, Brian, you notice on those replays, though, when Paul got rid of the puck on each one of them, he stopped skating. He's got to power through people to be a factor.
And Biles got tied up by Niedermeyer. Kariya got his first point in 6 games. In the last game, he has added an assist on the goal picked up by Ruchin here in this game. The Ducks have the 1-0 lead.
This line, by the way, for New-Jersey on the ice now has been their best line, I think.
Delayed offside call will be whistled right there. 1-0 Ducks on top. Of course, New Jersey's got the distinction of having a team in the NBA and the Stanley Cup Finals. No team has ever won both awards, the Stanley Cup and the NBA Championship, playing in the same metropolitan area. There have been 8 chances for that to happen. And the Nets, of course, last night tied that series up against San Antonio 1-1. Near side, Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer that jumped away. The Ducks, on the other hand, are trying to do what the Angels did. And Ruchin scores, and they may get there. He's got 2 goals.
Almost the same spot he scored from in Game 5. And Steve Ruchin has come alive a little bit more every game in this series.
4 of the last 5 goals for the Ducks off forecheck in the corner. The cycle. Beautiful shot inside the goal post by that long reach of Steve Ruchin.
And they generated a 2-on-1 down low. You see when Leclerc picked it off the boards, it was a 2-on-1 on Scott Niedermeyer.
And you know, Billy, when you have a guy like Rob Niedermeyer taking the puck away from 2 Devils, that means somebody's open. Rob Niedermeyer made it work along the boards.
Boy, did Brian Murray, the GM of the Ducks, pull a steal. He convinced the ownership, which was against it, to sign Ruchin to a 4-year deal, but they did not want to. They got him for about $11 million over 4 years. If he was a free agent this coming year, what would he be worth?
Yeah, this is his first full healthy season. First full healthy season, all 82 games, and then all the playoff games.
Mike Rupp moves that one in. Rupp turning to the middle, gets tied up. Good play by Sammy Paulson, who would not let Rupp free. Intercepted, sent wide of the net on the turnover. Hits the back of the net, and Jaguar covers. 13:42. Ruchin's got 2 in the game. Leclerc, Rob Niedermeyer the assist. Celebrate that one, Anaheim 2-0. All right, tell that guy to lean back now. Mike Myers on the far right, and Meg Ryan is right behind the gentleman leaning out. Come on, lean back.
Come on.
Oh, there she is. I want to thank Meg. It's the only movie I've ever been in that I still get checks for, Kate Leopold, for a voiceover on a Mike Piazza home run.
Oh, boy, it got nasty. And it looks like the Devils are going to be shorthanded. Whatever went on down there, this was during the stoppage after the whistle. Langenbrunner ends up with an extra minor.
He kept punching and punching and punching, and he wouldn't stop, and that's why he earned it.
And we should mention, too, with Mike Myers, gigantic hockey fan, especially, and without question, of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
Yeah, great story about the time Wayne Gretzky got him tickets, and he showed up in a Leafs jersey, right?
Yeah.
When Wayne was playing for the LA Kings in the playoffs. That put a little strain on the relationship.
He's a good man.
All right, we're getting the calls done here, and it's only one up on the board, and it's going to be against the Devils. And they've got nobody in the box yet, and the officials want them to get somebody over there.
You know, Bill, when this all started, Steve Thomas was involved, and he's fired up again. Remember the last home game here, or the last couple of home games?
There in the middle of this is Soleil and Langenbrunner, and they got separated and they came back, and they got separated and they came back, and Steve Thomas and Jeff Friesen had something going, and Mike Rupp and Sammy Paulson had something going. So we got a few subplots or undercard matches to watch.
Now there is a power play, but Soleil did get a penalty. Soleil got 2 and 4 on Langenbrunner. So they're all roughing calls, and now a power play, the second of the game for the Ducks, already leading it 2-0. Still looking for their first power play goal.
Oh, Madsen was thinking breakaway.
Far side shot, Sikora wide, rebound, LeClaire, Niedermeyer blocked into the corner. Pandolfo there, got the stick in front of it. Bounces to the near side. The Ducks on top, 2-0, 5 to go first period. Banked off the far side, Sikora. Sikora sends it in, LeClaire, Niedermeyer, Sikora up front, Ozolinьš. Back along the point, Sikora there, block shot up high. Cleared by Madden, far side, out of the zone. Madden gave chase, Ozolinьš got it, Devils change up on their PK.
Now, even if the Ducks don't score, this is the best I've seen their power play. Look, there's a high confidence level here.
They're getting some practice at it.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Cleared back out of the zone. Second power play of the game. Both have been for the Ducks. Intercepted off Ozolinьš, Rayon, but Paul Correa's there to cover. Correa comes back for Ozolinьš on the near side. Keep in mind, the Jersey Devils, one of only 5 teams ever to have blown a 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup Final. And they have been keenly made aware of that all week, and they didn't like talking about it. It was 2001 against Colorado when they had a 3-2 lead and lost the last 2, so they know about that. And the Ducks got a 2-0 lead here in Game 6. Center pass, score! Paul Correa! May have been Thomas. What a blistering shot from the middle.
I heard iron, so I know the Correa shot definitely hit the goalpost.
And it came right down to Steve Thomas, I think. But how many times have the Devils given any Mighty Duck on the power play this much time? Look at Paul Correa moving to the shooting hole. Hit the post, fluttered right down to Thomas.
Steve Thomas went into the zone where you get hammered, knocked down, and battered around, but he got himself back up, found the rebound as the puck hit his body off the goalpost, and he finished. Correa shooting, he hit the post, he'll get an assist. And guys, you know, when you saw Game 5, the Ducks looked like they were on the mat. The question was, would they get off the mat? Well, they're off the mat.
The jury is back.
3-0 lead in this game in the first period. We went into the last game without a goal having been scored in the first period. Now the Ducks have got a 3-0 lead. Not only that, they've ended the power play drought. They get their first power play goal against the Devils all year. Regulation 4 playoffs, as they are now 1-4-11 in the series. And a 3-0 lead. They're out shooting the Devils 9-6. Up the near side boards, it'll be brought out by Tommy Avalon. Avalon moves it to the red line, feathers that one in. The Mighty Ducks, who have lived almost, well, not almost, entirely on defense this playoff year in the work of Jaguar, are finally giving Jiggy a night where he can actually have a little room to breathe.
But still, remember the 2-on-1 save he made when there was a shot on goal when the Devils were shorthanded. I mean, he's made 2 or 3 saves and a goal post that have made a bit of a difference here.
Here's the bottom line with a 3-0 lead for either one of these teams. Whoever has that lead just has to play their game. The other team has to stray from their strength and play to a situation that may be a weakness, which is offense.
And the we see the Ducks win this game Monday night. The cup on hand if the Devils could win it to be awarded tonight. Far side Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer dumped it along the boards. Breland came out to get it. Breland backed it up, but Ozolinьš is there. Ozolinьš had some room near side to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer tried that blind pass near side for Schwinnard. Schwinnard picks it up, sends it in, took a hit from Stevenson. Laid back behind to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer and White together, 2:16 left to go in a ferocious first period in a series where you just never know. Gianna trying to turn it in, backhander right through the paint. Mason Krog over, sends it up ice. Nobody touched it. Icing call coming. If Stevens gets there first, and he does.
Another thing Paul Correa said this morning, he said, our 3 goals that we did get in New Jersey, they were off the cycle in the corner. He says, we don't get much off the rush. We want to get the puck in the corner. Somebody said, well, isn't that what you didn't want all that room back there? You wanted the goal line moved back. Remember when you were talking about the league? He said, well, that's where the room is. The only room you have against the Devils is in the corners in their own zone.
Turnover, Pandolfo a chance, knocked away by Jaguar. Devils able to hold it into Madden. Madden, Gianna, and Pandolfo on this line. Puck came up the wall to Ruchin. Ruchin's going for the natural hat trick here if he can get one more in the period. He scored both goals, and that one's brought in offside by the Ducks.
Gary, you talked about the Mighty Ducks signing Steve Ruchin to the long-term contract. Until this season, the 2 previous seasons, he had missed 110 total games with everything from a face that got crushed by a slap shot to a broken foot and a broken ankle. And I guess that was the big question and the big reluctance to sign him to the long-term deal. Is this guy injury-prone? Brian Murray looked at the injuries, looked at video, understands the situation, and said, you know what? They were just circumstances. The guy can't be that unlucky all of his career.
You talk about signings for the Ducks. You think they might sign Teemu Selanne during the offseason? Add him back to the Korea line and watch out.
Paul Correa is absolutely talking about that, has been for half a year. Langenbrunner taken down, penalty coming. Speaking of Paul Correa, he's going to go here, and with 1:21 to go in the period, a power play for New Jersey.
His stick came down and knocked the feet out as he was back checking. And Mike Babcock's Ducks in this period have been pretty diligent in their own zone.
Korea, 2 trip.
It's a tripping call.
Well, they've been hungry in their zone.
Yeah.
We think of being hungry only in the offensive zone. You got to be hungry defensively to win the one-on-one battles too, and have the passion to do that. Mighty Ducks have done that.
This is big for both teams right here.
Devils get a chance to get on the board. Here's the call. That was Langenbrunner who went down. Tripping's the call at 18:39. Devils on a power play. Cleared back into the middle by Keith Carney and out of the zone. The third goal at 15:59. Thomas got it, his second of this series, 4th of the playoff here. Paul Correa gets the assist. Correa's assisted on 2 of the 3 the Ducks have. Behind the net, Breland goes on top, a minute to go in the period. You see Niedermeyer coming right out, shot deflected in front. That hit Friesen, who was standing in front of Jaguar. Brodeur comes almost up to the blue line.
Old reliable Keith Carney was back there to clear the rebound away.
Carney, who leads the Mighty Ducks at ice time this playoff year, over 27 minutes a game. Under a minute to go, Breland in the corner. Devils on their first power play opportunity of the game as New Jersey's 2 for 16 in this series. Played back near side, Langenbrunner in front of the net. Niedermeyer, the defenseman, centered. That one gets bouncing off the far side boards and out.
Well, you're right, Jersey has the 2 goals, but they were both at home, Gary. They've not been able to score on the power play here in Anaheim.
Dumped in with 18 seconds left to go. Niedermeyer moving up to get it. Marshall was there. Gomez was there. Played back for Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer a wrister. Save made. Rebound. Flipped in the air. Marshall. Niedermeyer. Shot. Put high over the net. 4 seconds left to go. Backhander blocked by Soleil. And that's a period. And what a period for the Ducks.
John and Brian back on Mighty Ducks Classics, and after 1 period of play in Game 6 of the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals, the Ducks up 3-0. An incredible period on a lot of fronts, Brian, but I really, to me, what stood out is Steve Ruchin has an amazing period. He pots a couple of goals. He makes a big block there at the end of the period and really sets the tone for the hockey club.
He made it look awfully easy, didn't it? In fact, all of the big guys for the Mighty Ducks were bang on in the opening period of game number 6. First of all, Jaguar was outplaying Martin Brodeur by a mile. Jiggy made 3 or 4 very difficult saves. I can't think of a single difficult save that Marty Brodeur made. As a result, we've got the 3-0 3-0 lead for the Mighty Ducks. Paul Kariya is playing his best game. He's a factor every shift that he's on the ice. He's still facing that matchup with Scott Stevens, but he's dangerous in this hockey game. He's getting a number of opportunities. He's getting pucks to the net, and it almost looked to me like this game he had an extra gear, a little bit more speed from Kariya. Really the first time that we saw it in this series so far.
And you talked at the top of the program as well about Mike Babcock looking at his team and hoping he can get some power play goals. Well, they do. Thomas gets the power play goal and really gets a monkey off their back, not only in the series but on the season series as well, including the 2 regular season games with the Devils.
You know, in watching this broadcast again, the thing that really is striking for me is the fact that the Ducks were matching quite well with the Devils in terms of the physical part of the game. I thought they were answering their hits with a hit of their own each time. They were not backing down. And, of course, any time that you can get a power play goal, it just puts a little bit of doubt in your opponents in the back of their mind that perhaps they have to withdraw a little bit, not be quite so aggressive. But the other interesting thing about this hockey game is now we've got a 3-0 game. That's not what you usually get in a Stanley Cup playoff game. The Devils are still only 1 win away from capturing the Cup, and you know that now this is a different game. Now Scott Niedermayer has the green light to jump up into the play every single time that he is on the ice. He has been their best player in this series, and you know that Pat Burns is going to have him out there as often as he possibly can.
Yeah, the Devils lead the series 3-2. The Cup is in the house because obviously the Devils have a chance to take it home with them. And despite the fact that they're down 3-0, they do have to change their game plan a little bit, and that's something I think neither team wanted to do in this series at all. What they were looking to do is try to get their opponents out of their game plan, and certainly the way the Devils play is not to go, is to stay back and take advantage of opportunities. They can't afford to do that anymore.
Well, you know what? They're going to be on the attack virtually for the rest of the game. They want a chaotic game. They don't want kind of a systems game the rest of the way. And these are 2 systems teams playing against one another. But now you always play by the score, and it's 3-0 Anaheim. They've got some catching up to do, obviously, and so now Pat Burns is going to switch up his lines a little bit. He's going to shorten his bench. He's going to get his skilled players out there. They're going to move away from the hitting, methodical, block up the neutral zone kind of game, and they're going to look for some long passes. And it makes for a very interesting hockey game.
Well, speaking of chaotic, certainly you're looking for bounces with chaos, and there were some bounces in that first period. The Ducks get a couple of bounces, in part the reason that they're leading 3-0 after 1 period of play. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll go back out to the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim for the second period of Game 6 of the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals between the Devils and Mighty Ducks.
Ready to start the second period. It'll be 39 seconds remaining on the power play for the New Jersey Devils. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, John Davidson back upstairs here at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim. And the crowd for the Mighty Ducks has had a lot to cheer about with a 3-goal first period. Devils trying to get back. This is their first power play of the game. Anaheim get out of the power play drought, scoring a power play goal in that first period. Move back out by Ruchin, who's got 2 goals. Niedermayer will wait and just feather that one in. Played back by Brodeur. You can bet New Jersey heard some words that took the paint off the wall from Pat Burns during that intermission. They were not ready to go. That's going to be whistled on the offside. The Stanley Cup Finals on ABC, presented by Nextel, brought to you by Dodge, the official road team of the NHL. Grab life by the horns. Dodge. Miller Lite. Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time. And MasterCard, there are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
You know, guys, maybe Pat Burns said to his players, enough with the bad penalties, too. Langenbrunner, during a scrum, took an offensive zone penalty. Elias on Kariya with 4 cross-checks between the blue lines. Those aren't good in a big game.
Rough shot gets blocked by Hadlund behind the net to Langenbrunner. There is Jamie Langenbrunner, their leading scorer in the middle for Rupp. It got deflected. Paul Kariya's out of the box. Paul Kariya chasing. Kariya, who just came out of the penalty box, dumped it in on Brodeur, knocked away. So 2 shots on that power play for the Devils, but they did not convert. Rupp looking into the middle. Lost it. Langenbrunner got tied up by Soleil. Langenbrunner hit by Soleil. Langenbrunner waiting. Devils were changing. Into the corner. Peter Sikora clears it around. Devils able to hold it in. Knocked down. Dumped deeper. Madden heads to the front of the net. Langenbrunner trying to set a pick. Now has the puck. Dropped it back into the middle. Oates is there. Up, not out. Stevens, a shot. Blocked deep. Sikora clears.
That Kariya who blocked the shot. Paul Kariya's playing hard in this game. The puck was not put over the blue line. Stevens was winding up, and Kariya was right there.
There is Scott Stevens, who continues to add to his total of most games played ever by a defenseman in the playoffs. That's going to be whistled on the offside. Just underway here in the second period, and the Ducks looking to take it to a Game 7.
Look at how John Madden's face is, well, his black eye. How many stitches did he? 16?
Yeah.
You know, to me, the mark of courage is when somebody has complete disregard for their personal safety on behalf of the group. Look at him playing with that. He's got, you know, he came right back and played in Game 5 with a face full of stitches.
You know what he said? He said, guys play with bad knees and shoulders. Those are bad ones. He says, this is just a cut. It's no big deal. The other thing he said about skating around with a cool air down at ice level, it actually helps keep the swelling down, which I thought was a little wacky, but he's absolutely right.
An environmental ice bag. Niedermayer's got it behind the net, white all over him. Interesting that the two leading shooters on both of these teams haven't got a point in the series, as Madden leads everybody in shots in this series and in the playoffs, and Leclerc the other way. Niedermayer, that one got deflected and just rolled wide.
We're going to see a lot of Scott Niedermayer jumping up in the play. We have to with the Devils down 3-zip.
You saw him stay in. He held the puck in. Madden over to get it. Bounced it in front. Shot score! And no! And the Devils are on the board. It's 3-1.
John Madden, with his junkyard dog mentality, just kept on digging. Surprised Giguère when the pass came out front. Jay Pandolfo dabbing at his face, but Scott Niedermayer started it by jumping up on the play and making sure he was part of the rush.
Puck down low. Look at Madden. Oh, baby, did he make a read. Gionta, Madden, and Pandolfo. They were -1 in this game, and now they're even. They have a way of fighting back. They were -2 early in Game 5. Came back and got two themselves. This line, I think, is the engine for their team. It makes them go. Now they get one to get their team back into it a little bit.
Tonight they're going to have to be their offensive engine.
It is a 3-1 game. Devils on in the first 3 minutes of this period. Third around the corner. That puck hit with a high stick. That will be whistled. Faceoff will stay in the Ducks zone. There you see the last team to lose a finals game after having a 3-goal lead. The Chicago Blackhawks, 1992 against the Pittsburgh Penguins and Mario Lemieux.
That was a sweep by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Scotty Bowman coaching them? The Penguins?
Not sure.
That was Scotty Bowman.
And I know
Bob Johnson coached the year before in their first cup.
And it was Mike Keenan who was coaching Chicago, right?
You bet.
Yeah, it's into the middle for the Ducks. Devils get it back. Turning it is Stevenson. Turner Stevenson's got Breland with him. Sends it off the wall. Those walls give you plenty of bounce. There's Breland playing it in the corner. Breland knocked away Thomas. Thomas will get it back. Over to Cheestop. Cheestop leaves it. Trailer. Carney. Carney into the zone. Carney a little wrong side made. Rodor with a nice right leg.
How about Keith Carney jumping up on the play?
I think it's smart because his team up 3-0, now up 3-1, can sit back and try to win a low-scoring game.
That's not them.
That's the wrong attitude. Go for it. He's the fourth man on the rush, and it's a good, smart, low shot. And he's a defenseman jumping in to make it 4 men along with the 3 forwards. I think that's the mentality, Bill. Go for it. Get back that 3-goal lead instead of sitting back and all of a sudden it's 3-2.
Mike Babcock's philosophy is the best place to play defense is in the offensive zone.
Paul Correa stepping up in the offensive zone. Bounce that one off the wall. Look for the return pass. Correa doing battle over there to hold it in. Came behind the net. Sikora couldn't get it. Ozolinьš stepped up, took the hit from Marshall. Flipped up and out of the zone. Only 1D back that time for the Ducks was Soleil. The goal at 2:18. Pandolfo second of the series. He's got 6 this playoff year. How about that? Madden and Gionta have picked up the assists on the Devils' goal. Great pass to Elias. Elias shot blocked into the corner of Soleil. They collide. Marshall trying to center. Elias banked it over to Gomez off the near side board. Gomez to the point. One-timer deflected right into the chest. Elias at a high deflection and a save for Giguère.
Good pass back as Gomez set up. And oh, what a nice deflection that was. And when Giguère's on, guys, the puck hits him right on the crest, right on the duck bill. That's where he was. Look how he moves across. Both arms tight to his body so nothing sneaks through. Nice save.
That hit a Devil and Soleil.
Yeah.
Double deflection.
Elias with a nice play. And those are big saves. They don't look like big saves because it wasn't a remarkable catching glove save.
There's the glove. Probably would have gone wide. Ruff there took the shot. Giguère gloved it.
One of the most reliable defensemen in the NHL, Keith Carney of the Mighty Ducks. He is the father of triplets, and he has a daughter younger than the triplets. Active with the United Way. Great charity person. Favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption, The Pride of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, Mount St. Charles Prep. You think they haven't turned out some players? Garth Snow, Brian Boucher, the goalies, Matthew Schneider, Brian Berard's also from Woonsocket.
And a shot off the face-off for Friesen gets blocked right back to him. Comes to Tevodovsky, back for Friesen, wide open. Big blast. Oh, did that hurt Carney? Carney limping after he blocked the shot. Stays out on the ice, but he felt that one on his right leg. Devils right back the other way. Behind the net. Loss. Tevodovsky leaves it. Ruff will pick it up. Ruff moved that one up the wall. Schwannard intercepted. Sends it back behind the net. Tevodovsky back to get it again. Tevodovsky trying to clear out of the zone. Got it to Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner dishes it off into the middle. 3-on-3 Devils. Ruff, they want a line change, the Devils do. So he'll let the puck roll into the corner. Goals picked up in the first. Ruchin 2 and Thomas 1. Korea a couple of assists. Sikora, Leclaire, and Rod Niedermeyer along with Carney, the other assist for the Ducks. And a 3-1 lead as the Devils have answered here in this period, getting on the board. Intercepted Sikora, drop pass, taken away Rayon. Rayon moves it up. Pascal Rayon wants a shot, dropped it back into the middle. Didn't have anybody there to receive. Paul Korea too far ahead. Niedermeyer leaves it with Scott Stevens. Came near side, Rayon. Rayon has really grown here this playoff year as a player for the Devils. Breland, Rayon coming down the near side wall, deflected to Breland, sent him behind the net. That's Turner Stevenson. Stevenson looking. Rayon comes back to get it. Rayon, Devils trying to find someone in the middle. Shot deflected, and Jaguar through a screen hangs on.
Turner Stevenson playing 2 games in a row with bad groins. He had a bad one. The other one's compensating for the bad one, and they're both getting sore. Guys, he's got something called a back plaster on underneath those hockey pants, and it's small sticky things that he puts right on the inside of his thighs, and it keeps his body warm. Even when he's sitting on the bench like he is right now, his inner thighs, upper thighs, stay warm, 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 so he can keep playing.
It's working, but he's playing physically. Brodeur will come back to play that. Didn't get all he wanted on it. Got bounced away by Leclaire. Back to Leclaire. Madden on him. Leclaire goes down on the ice. Pandolfo trying to clear it out of there. It's intercepted Ruchin. Ruchin looking for a hat trick. Cutting into the middle. Stevens blocked him. We've not had a hat trick score this playoff year. One hat trick so far this playoff year. That'll be touched up by Carney. Alexander McGillney, the only trick this playoff season. He'll be whistled here with 14:15 left in period number 2.
We haven't seen brothers play against each other in the playoffs for years and years regarding the finals, and to see these two guys play the way they're playing this game. You know, Rob Niedermeyer made a great play that led to a goal for the Ducks in this game, and Scotty Niedermeyer, I think you're right, Bill. He is flying when he's on the ice. He's the best skater in this game.
And people wonder, why doesn't he play like that all the time? It is not his natural mentality. He is a defensive defenseman that thinks about D first.
That faceoff is going to stay right on the dot where the players were sitting.
You know that twice, I mean, we may have mentioned this before, but twice Scott Niedermeyer has won the cup. He's brought the cup back to Cranbrook, British Columbia, a beautiful town in the Rockies. And he sits there and it smiles with it, takes pictures of the people in town see it. His brother Rob has not touched it, refuses to touch the thing until he wins his own.
They talk about how much these two teams have had to travel this playoff year, and they have. Just wait till the cup ends up being won by one of them. See how much miles are put on the cup.
Yeah, the superstition about touching it is that if you've never won it and you touch it, you will never win it.
Back near side Gomez. Rob Niedermeyer's made sure not to put that whammy on. Passed off near side Sikora, tried to draw it around, couldn't, and down on the ice.
Stevens. Oh my goodness.
Is that Paul Korea?
Yes, it is.
Paul Korea leveled
my, and
by Scott Stevens.
He's had cushion problems in the past. This is the first open ice big hit that Scott Stevens has thrown in the series. Paul Korea landed on his back and didn't move. Didn't move.
And Paul Korea knows not to cut through the middle towards Stevens' side.
Oh my.
I talked to him about it. That is why Babcock doesn't mind this matchup if Paul Korea stays on the left side, because he goes down against Brian Rafalski. When he cuts across, he's cutting right towards Scott Stevens' side.
Oh my. I'm not sure, guys, where the puck was at the time. Looks like he wants to get up on his own and show some toughness here, but he went on his back and he never moved. And look at the wobbliness. Look at his legs. Oh, baby.
Guarantee he doesn't know where it is.
Coach Babcock, well, here's the play. Puck in his feet, on his stick. He moves it. Oh, guys, that's interference.
Never saw that coming because Stevens came from his right and he was looking left. Paul Kariya. He is voted year after year as the hardest hitter in the National Hockey League.
This is real speed. The puck is gone, and boom! It was not an elbow. It was a shoulder, top of the arm above the elbow, but it may have been a little late. There's a hooking penalty now.
What is that? Jamie Langenbrunner completely out of control. That is a totally unnecessary penalty picked up in your defensive zone when nobody's got the puck. That's the second bad penalty he has taken in this game.
We're going to go back and take a look at the Paul Kariya situation again, the hit by Scott Stevens. When Paul Kariya dumped the puck in, and this is why, JD, you and I agree it's an interference call, because he had gotten rid of the puck, and it was so uncharacteristic. Watch this. Paul Kariya, his chest wasn't moving. Whoop! He popped to. You can actually see on that replay how he came to. He was out cold. He wasn't breathing. And all of a sudden, poof, he came to life.
It is a power play as it begins to get ugly. Backhand Niedermeyer. Poke checked away by his brother. Rob Niedermeyer was wide open momentarily. A split second. Scott Niedermeyer got a stick in and knocked it away. This is the third power play of the game for the Ducks. They've scored one. It is a 3-1 game, but Paul Kariya is out, obviously, of the game for the moment at least. And if he comes back, I'll be surprised.
I'll be surprised. It changes everything. It changes the line he was on. It changes the power play. It changes what Stevens has to do regarding who he checks the rest of the game. Everything changed with that one hit.
Back it comes to Ozolinьš. Power play for the Ducks. Dropped it to the far side. Point save made. Rebound the player. Couldn't get it. Brodeur knocked it away. 2-on-2, 3-on-2, short-handed the other way. Here comes Madden. Caught him in a change. Niedermeyer, Madden. Blocked by Soleil. They caught the Ducks in a line change when the Ducks had the power play. It comes to Ozolinьš. Ozolinьš had it backed up for Ruchin. Ruchin leaves it behind the net. Power play still has 56 seconds left on it for the Ducks. Their power play goal was scored by Thomas. The third goal they picked up in that first period. The Devils have come back with a Pandolfo goal at 2:18 to make it 3-1. Far side Ruchin, but being pinned in by Rayon. Ozolinьš behind his own net. Ducks started up, but slowly. Devils at center with their four skaters. Moved in by Steve Ruchin. Near side for Thomas, too far ahead of him. Cleared. Devils get it out of there. It'll be played behind the net by Giguère.
I'm still in shock over that Stevens hit. Guys, we've had the opportunity to meet Scott Stevens plenty of times. Have you met a more solid human being before? I mean, he's built like a rock. Absolute rock.
Ask Eric Lindros.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, Eric Lindros had his whole career changed with the concussion suffered, and still suffers from that. That one deflected up and into the seats.
And Eric got hit at almost the identical spot. That is Scott Stevens' zone right there.
Center ice, do not lose sight of it.
Say this, JD, you and I agree that was an interference penalty, but I will defend Scott Stevens in that I know he had tone and was moving in for the hit before Paul Kariya dumped the puck.
It was a continuation of a play. That's why it's not a major penalty in my mind. It could have been called interference.
That's all. I agree.
Power play is over. One shot on that for the Ducks. They do not convert. Centering pass bounced away to Nick Hadley. Obviously, with 11:11 to go here in the second of this game, where if the Devils win, they win the cup. The next goal is a monster goal, because if the Devils score it, they're right back in this game. Brian England.
Guys, you're just talking about Scotty, and I've told you guys before, I played with Scott Stevens when he was an 18-year-old rookie in Washington, and he was my partner, and I'd feel this thing, this force coming from the side, from the left side, which he's always played. A player would be coming down on me, be focused on me, and all of a sudden, whew, and in the fallout area, sometimes I was part of it. He's always had that. It's like a 50-goal scorer's instinct for me. You can't teach that.
Conn Smythe winner in 2000 when the Devils won the Stanley Cup. He was the MVP of the playoffs for New-Jersey. Soleil in behind the net. How much steam does that hit take out of the Ducks, or how much does it add to the Ducks? Played in behind the net. You can bet there's not a Duck player who's not going to be looking for number 4 the rest of this game.
Got to be controlled emotion, though. What's on the line here?
You bet. 3-1 lead. JD, you said that changes a lot of things. The one thing it doesn't change is that it's 3-1 Anahayma, and they still got to be really good defensively in this game.
To me, maybe the biggest key is for the coaching staff to not overreact to a situation like that. You've got to be in control on your bench. And getting to know Mike Babcock through these playoffs, he keeps everything right inside where it should be, in control of his bench, and I think they do a good job of it.
I agree. One more look at it. When Paul Kariya dumped, he watched his pass. And you see Scott Stevens had already locked on and had tone, and he was going for the hit anyway.
The elbow was not the leading edge of the hit. Kariya did not see it come. It was above the elbow. A clean hit in that respect. Maybe a little late.
Pandolfo back for Madden. Madden trying to center, looking, got it in front. It gets blocked before it got all the way out to Gianna. Gianna got tied up, cleared up for Leclerc. Leclerc will move it out of the zone for the Ducks. Niedermeyer chasing it. He'll be beaten to it by Rafalski. Rafalski teamed up with Stevens. Up the boards. Ruchin puts the hit far side. Gianna's got it. Ryan Gianna trying to bump it in. Came straight through the middle. Cleared by the Ducks. And the Devils will have to get back on side. Ryan Gianna, who's played a fine series. 4 assists involved in it.
The right winger here is Niedermeyer. He's their biggest forward on that side, and that's who he seems to be up against Stevens now. Maybe that's more size on size. We'll see if that matchup continues instead of Stevens on the ice. Langenbrunner's out there.
That was Ozolinch who blocked it. Langenbrunner picked it up. Rafalski back. Can't be handled by Jamie Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner again helped create the turnover. Pass to him is blocked by Oates into the corner. And Ozolinch took a shot at him in the middle. Looking, trying to line it up. Stick picked up by Sikora from behind. He had an opening.
Here's what Mike Babcock has done to adjust to Paul Kariya's departure. Sikora goes to the left wing, and Jason Crow comes out and plays the right wing.
And the fans on their feet because Paul Kariya has just come back from the dressing room and onto the bench. You're watching the Stanley Cup on ABC Sports Championship Television. Fans on their feet, and what they're doing, looking down at Paul Kariya to see whether or not he's going to stay out. He went out and took a couple of skates, and now he comes out to play.
Well, we're being told it was the wind that was knocked out of him. Well, I'll tell you what.
It was the wind, all
I'll tell you what. He's showing me something. I didn't think we'd see him until next season. Look at this. He's back.
Agree.
Unbelievable.
He sure had a sudden gush of air come out of his lungs when we had that close-up of him.
He was unconscious on the ice. Centered. Marshall almost directed. Marshall trying to reverse direction. Can't. Bounce right through the paint. That was a clearing effort by the Ducks.
Nicholas Havlat threw it right through the paint.
That's Kariya skating off ice. Oates dropped it. Shot. Big hole. Hit the post. Oates rebound got blocked. And Oates lost his stick. The Devils may be able to take advantage of it. Oates lost his stick behind the play. Gomez cutting. Marshall a trailer. Marshall a shot. Save made by Jaguar. Rebound still sitting there. Cover up and whistle.
Baby, what action. Paul Kariya set up the turnover. The Ducks hit the post. And then Shiggy gets it done. Awesome stuff.
Paul Kariya was the guy that jammed the paint in front of Brodeur. So Paul Kariya is alive and kicking here in the second period.
Brodeur looked like he took a pretty good banging here. He's still trying to walk off whatever happened.
Look at Paul Kariya in front. It was actually Kariya that knocked over Brodeur after Colin White had hit him. And then at the other end, Patrick Elias with a great feed to Jason Marshall. And Jaguar looked like he was looking down his right arm to see if that had a chance to squeeze through.
I'll tell you, Brodeur, through all of that, has been back at the other end, stretching, leaning, walking. He felt that. He had his head down for a long time after Paul Kariya got up and skated away.
He had a problem in the Ottawa series, too, with a big collision that he appeared to have jammed a leg on. Jaguar's rebound control much better, don't you think, in this game?
Stevens getting booed every time he touches it. Jaguar able to knock that away off Stevenson. The Ducks collide, but get back up, and Ozolinch cleared it out. Rayon cleared it ahead. This is what we were talking about, the next goal in this game. Both these teams know how vital it is, whether it's 4-1 or 3-2.
Well, when I grew up in Western Canada, we skated on rivers and ponds. We called it pond hockey and river hockey, kind of just go for it. I think we're close to seeing that here. These guys are just going for it with nothing but a heart.
We've got a carryover from the last game.
Yeah. Here's the deal. The Devils don't have anything to lose to play that game. They're down 3-1. The Mighty Ducks have something to lose in playing river hockey.
Their season. The Mighty Ducks have not faced elimination this year. This is the first time. They've won 14 games, lost only 5 this playoff year. The Devils come in 15-7 in the playoff season. Keith Carney drops it back. 7:28 left to go, second period. Pushed into the zone. Leclerc. A little run in with White. White took a dive, trying to draw a penalty, and didn't get it.
You know, if Kariya hit the post on that last big flurry around Brodeur, if that puck goes in,
The roof comes off.
That's the stuff movies are made of.
That's right. Speaking of which,
Hey, he could be in that.
played right behind the net.
Oh,
I like the way you're thinking.
That's right. Randy Andrechu, our statistician who puts up all the great numbers for us all year, he said to me, you got to think about this, your personal. You got a little personal thing. If they win, they're going to have a movie and you guys will be in it. I said, Randy, I'm hiring you as an agent. Tommy Avila came back to get it, cleared it around the near side. Davidovsky. He looks up ice, 6:48 left here. The shots are 17-14 in favor of the Devils. Move back into the zone. White stood him up, cleared back out. Colin White, far side, taken away. Thomas got it over to Paulson. Paulson trying to make a turn. Davidovsky. Paulson still with it. Paulson goes to the corner. Davidovsky got picked off. Paulson's open. Takes a chance. Save Brodeur. And that deflected. And he'll hang on. All you could ask for, the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6.
You need to settle things down sometimes. Look at Keith Carney, old reliable. Look at it. Slow down. Let's go. Let's set it up here now. And the coach wants him to be the guy to slow things down coming out of the zone. You don't have to come out fast all the time. Take your time, make the proper play. He's the guy that settles their team down.
I'm sure he would love to hear you call him reliable. I'm not sure he would like the first part of the description, which has been old reliable.
You got triplets, you're always old. On the far side, it'll be played by Stevens into the corner. Back for it is Rafalski. A 3-1 Ducks lead. Here in period 2, Havlat could have touched that. They wave off anything.
Korea on the ice again.
Well, Korea's taking his shifts after coming back. After he got leveled by Scott Stevens.
Well, he played the puck there, Gary. Made the right play, getting it over the zone.
Intercepted. Stevens gave that one up, and the fans applauded. Stevens batted it away. But an opportunity right there for Sikora, and the puck ends up going up and over. Exclusive coverage of the Stanley Cup Finals on ABC. Ducks 3, Devils 1. From Baywatch, David Hasselhoff on hand, getting jiggy with it. And right now, a lot to get jiggy about if you're a Ducks fan. A 3-1 lead. A lot of believers here at the pond.
Now, the Devils a little better on face-offs in game, well, a lot better in game 5. They were 500. They were 500 in the first period here. Joe Nieuwendyke's not playing for the Devils, and he goes down during the intermission and works with the centerman on how to win draws. And I think he's had an impact for his team in trying to control face-offs like they did there.
The other thing is, before game 5, they had a meeting, and they decided that the wingers had to be more active in helping out, and that's when they started to win face-offs.
Niedermeyer saw a little room far side. Shot deflected up and into the screen. 7 will be heaven if you're a Duck fan. That's the truth.
7 will be heaven if you're a hockey fan, too. If it's like this is unbelievable to watch.
Great story today in the paper here in Orange County. Jake Hennings is out there somewhere watching. He's an 11-year-old who got a rally going for the Ducks at his school. There were a lot of Devils fans, so he had a lot of kids come in all dressed up. And he said, all you can do is just do your best, guys. That's all you can do. He's a young hockey player. The great story on him, and it's about, he said, someday I'm going to hoist the Stanley Cup. How about that? That's what's happened. That's the generated interest the Ducks have brought here. Moving in, Jason Krog, pass intercepted, cleared back up Stevenson. Drops it off for Braylon. Braylon leaves it. Madden a chance, and he blistered it wide. Held in near side by Niedermeyer. Blocked. Have to come to center to get it. Devils trying to get that goal that'll make it a 1-goal game. Gianna brought it in. Shots are even. The game's not. Ducks have the 3-1 lead. Center. Pandolfo right on Jaguar, who made a save. Pandolfo was right there in the crease with it. Here comes Rob Niedermeyer. He gets tied up from behind by Gianna, then takes the hit. LeClaire in the corner. Pandolfo got spun around. LeClaire trying to come to the front dip. Niedermeyer's got it. Niedermeyer turns. There are the brothers, Scott, Rob Niedermeyer. They go to the wall. Mom Carolyn looking, going, you boys play nice. Into the corner. Held by Ruchin. Davidovsky reverse direction on him. Steve Ruchin has got 2 goals in the game. Leaves it for Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer a little pick from Carney, but Carney got caught up ice. 2-on-1. Ozolynch the only one back. Madden with Stevens. Madden, but get the shot. Stevens left it a little behind. Whoa, mercy, what a chance for the Devils. Carney was setting a pick and got caught. Langerbrunner let it go. Rafalski dumped it in. Wide open. These line changes become so important and so difficult. In front. Shot. Langerbrunner shot to the corner by Friesen. Picked up by Soleil. Ruslan Soleil starts it up ice. zone. Cheestop had a little room. Cheestop rolled it into the middle. Puck set there. Deflected away. Shot Hovland wide of the net.
No stick for Brodeur.
Marty Brodeur without a stick. Devils need a clear. They get it. Not only do they get it, they get a break. Friesen. Shot. Knocked away at the last second. Great effort down low.
That was Paulson on the back check. Got to Friesen just before he took his shot. What a back check job.
And a dandy use of his stick, too, to reach out and just torque him. Look at this.
Here comes Sikora. 3-on-2. Sikora centered. He had it blocked. Got blocked from behind the play. The odd man rushes are piling up. The Devils with 5 odd man rushes. None for Anaheim. Into the zone. Sikora kicked it out. Got it back. Near side Korea. The fans want one. Score!
You know, guys, I got to be honest. I have goosebumps. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Make that 3 of us, and I haven't even asked Gary yet. Look at this shot. Just a laser that was by Marty Brodeur before he could see it. Right at our Southwest Airlines goal cam, Paul Kariya. A dramatic period for Paul Kariya. He looked like he was KO'd at center ice, carried off with wobbly legs, comes back and makes it 4-1.
A lot of people who have challenged Paul Kariya about his series and not being involved and getting his nose dirty. Well, I'll tell you what, he's proven something to me here in this game. He has gotten off the mat.
He's got a goal and 2 assists and a 4-1 Ducks lead. Jaguar knocked it away off Eliash's shot. Oates cleared it up off the boards. It rolls into the middle. Marshall helped to hold it in. Devils have no intention of walking away here. They're down 3 with 2:11 to go. Kariya moves it back up. He's right back on the ice. The goal by Paul Kariya at 17:15. Sikora and Oates get the assist. It's Kariya's 6th of the playoff year, 14th of his career. In behind the net. Input on. Sour on Greenland, who knocked the puck away. A ferocious second period. I mean, this has been some of the best hockey you could ever want to see as a fan. It is phenomenal. These teams are going at it. There have been odd man rushes at both ends. Fantastic plays in front. Deflected. Stevenson tried to redirect.
And you know, it is 4-1, but the Devils have played their tails off. I mean, they have worked and tried to create.
Yeah, they have.
And worked and worked and worked. But now, another penalty. This is a reversal of Game 5 where the Ducks took all the penalties.
Slashing call. Stevenson.
The crowd is still standing.
Good as pass. Oates to Sikora to Kariya, the whole line, and he looked up. The defenseman put his stick out. It deflected off the defenseman's stick that handcuffed the goaltender, Brodeur, top corner. Look at the reaction. And I just can't get over some athletes at some points in their career when they make a statement, and he has made a statement.
First goal in 7 games for Paul Kariya. And a power play opportunity. This is going to be the 4th power play of the game. Stevenson goes for slashing at 18:27. 4th of the game for the Ducks, who had scored a power play goal here tonight against the Devils.
Well, we'll see if the Devils can generate an odd man rush on their kill, because they did the last time. And the one thing Mike Babcock can't be happy about, and I'll give the Devils full marks, but with a 3-1 lead, to give a team 5 odd man rushes, whoa, that's living dangerously.
I mean, they were odd man. Brought in by Leclerc. He heads to the front of the net. A minute left to go in the second period. Shot wide. Brodeur looks around. Puck came back to Madden again. Madden will move it out. Madden's got Pandolfo with him, shorthanded. Madden into the zone, tries to hit Pandolfo. Pandolfo reached up, didn't touch it. Played by Ozolinьш. Ozolиньш got it off the wall. Both teams changing up here. Niedermeyer will move it through center. Open. Kariya, can he do it again? Oh, mercy! What a glove save by Marty Brodeur. All the way to Jaguar.
Who was the doctor?
Oh, my gosh.
Marcus Welby to my left here. Gary was
sent in. Brodeur again. Looking for a little help. Cleared it up the boards. Off the dasher to Gianna. No, Ruchin got it. Ruchin trying to back it up. Came right back to it. 12 seconds to go in the period. Power play still underway here. Nobody at that point. Havlin had to come back to center.
kind of interesting that Kariya went for the exact same spot, didn't he, on that second try?
Ruchin has scored 2 goals. Thomas has 1. Correa has 1. Pandolfo for the Devils. But this period has been about Scott Stevens as he leveled Paul Correa at center ice. Took the wind out of him, knocked him out. Correa came back and scored a goal.
John Allers and Brian Hayward back with you on Mighty Ducks Classics, a Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals from 2003 that will forever be known for the hit, Brian, and then the goal. They both happened in that second period of play. And as John Davidson said in his call of the game, he had goosebumps. I think all of us who were in the building did as well. We all knew we were watching something very, very special.
Yeah, one of the most amazing things that I've ever seen in any sport, the comeback of Paul Correa in period number 2. You know, we have to talk about Paul Correa's history. I mean, this is a guy with a history of serious concussions. He's had some issues there. When he got hit by Scott Stevens, I thought there was no chance he is going to be back for this game, and if the Ducks were able to win it, doubtful in my mind at the time whether he would have been able to come back for game number 7. But he went back in the locker room. He was checked out by the team doctors and by the trainer, Chris Phillips, and he bounced right back. And just an amazing performance. I'll say it again, I really like to think of this as the defining moment of Paul Correa's career as a member of the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, he goes out on the hit at 6:16 mark of the second period. He comes back at 10:47, effectively misses only 4.5 minutes of the game. And if you figure he would have probably gotten a shift every third shift, he probably only missed 1 shift, maybe 2. But what gets lost a little bit in here as well is not just the goal he scores, but on his first shift back, he plows right into the crease. He ends up on top of Marty Brodeur, almost scores the goal as it goes off of him, hits the post, and then as he's laying there, he takes a swipe at it and can't score. So really no question whatsoever as to what's going through Paul Correa's mind. The minute he comes back, he goes right and gets into the middle of it.
Yeah, Paul Correa has always been kind of a different sort of leader. The vocal leader in the locker room, we're talking about Giguère and Ruchin at this time. Paul Correa is a quiet leader. You know, he leads by example. And I can tell you right now, for him to get back out on the ice, first of all, that gave all of his teammates just a huge boost because, remember, at the time, this was a 3-1 game. The Devils had scored early on in that period, and all of a sudden, it wasn't such a comfortable feeling for the Mighty Ducks. But Correa got back on the ice. He scores just a phenomenal laser beam of a goal that nobody is going to stop. But more than anything, I think he just said to his team, okay, I haven't been that good in this series. I am this team's best player, and I'm going to take charge of the situation. And everyone on that bench is so happy to see their best player taking charge.
And a little bit out of character, the celebration after the goal as well. I mean, we don't see that from PK very often, but he's very animated, and suddenly the game changes completely. But what a moment. I mean, is it possible, Brian, that the drama of the moment gets lost in I guess, the storybook of it? I mean, because I think in the end, like I said, this game's going to be remembered for the hit and the goal and the goosebumps that it provides. But is it possible that it gets lost in the mix that this was Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals and his team is facing elimination?
I don't think so. Again, because, first of all, it's Scott Stevens, recognized as the most feared and most dangerous open ice hitter in the NHL. He's got a reputation. He pretty much ended the career of Eric Lindros with an almost virtually identical hit. And then there's Paul Correa, again, with a history of concussions, and I thought at the time, this guy is done. I'll never forget this. You know, I'll never forget the run that the Ducks were on that spring as they went all the way to Game 7. But I'll tell you what, I will never forget Paul Correa getting, as Gary Thorne said, getting off of the mat and on the board. It was just an amazing, amazing thing to watch.
I doubt if it's even worth debating whether, it should have been a penalty. I know it was a story at the time, but as time goes on, it's the story that takes over. And the story now is that the Ducks are much more comfortable heading into that third period.
And they are under control, and, just everybody was playing so well in this game. Sandis Ozolinьsh, again, was making great decisions with the puck. The Ducks were getting caught up ice. Giguère was in a zone, and the thing about this team is that when your goaltender is in the zone like Giguère was, and he had his moments, there were some moments in this Stanley Cup final where Jiggy didn't play as well as he had in the previous 3 series. But this game was by far his best. And so then you're trying not to let it creep into your subconscious, but all of a sudden Correa has stepped up and he's on fire in this game. Giguère is back to being the Giguère that was so brilliant in the early rounds of the playoffs, and you're thinking, they're only 1 game away from a championship.
Yep, well, 20 minutes away from forcing a Game 7, now with the 3-goal lead back in their hip pocket heading into the third period. The Ducks up 4-1, down 3-2 in the series as they head to the third period of Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals from June of 2003, and we'll send you back for that third period after this.
questioned his toughness. They questioned his ability. No more questions. This is the quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. And what a quest it is proving to be. Welcome back, everybody. There is Paul Kariya, a goal, 2 assists, knocked out, back up. The battle with Scott Stevens, who leveled him in that second period.
Scott Stevens had a way, at least in this series, of lulling everybody in a kind of a sense of amnesia. That is the first time I saw Scott Stevens come across in the series.
How many elbowing penalties has Scott Stevens had in his career?
4. Even on those hits, they're always clean.
You guys mentioned that earlier in the playoffs. I almost fell off my chair.
Yeah.
And I mean, he is a clean, hard hitter. And the big debate is, and it's not even a big debate because it doesn't mean a whole lot, whether that hit on Kariya should have been interference or not. But it was not a dirty hit. He did not lead with the elbow. It was a clean hit. And a lot of people are saying that Paul Kariya will be saying after the game, I should have had my head up a little bit. I watched my own pass.
We are underway, third period. Still time remaining on the penalty to the Devils. The Mighty Ducks start here with a power play. They have scored 1 power play goal in this game. This is their 4th power play of the game. Dump back, Devils get it. Obviously, that goal by Kariya at 17-15, giving them the 3-goal edge. A vitally important goal here in Game 6. Power play over. They got 1 shot on it. We're back for 5-on-5. Cleared back up for Elias. He tipped that one to center. Niedermeyer will come back to get it. The Game 7 will be Monday night in New-Jersey, if necessary. Right now, it's necessary. Niedermeyer, the Devils would have to mount one of the greatest comebacks in a third period of a finals game to get this thing won here tonight. Tipped away, Niedermeyer flipped it up the board. Out of the zone, Gomez to Elias in the middle. Stevenson faked it, had it blocked back to center by Keith Carney. And paid a price. Leclerc over there put a hit on Turner Stevenson. And Leclerc didn't like the fact he got the stick up. They're still going at it. There will be penalties coming. At least one delayed call that's going to be against New-Jersey. Knocked away by Brodeur.
The Devils have taken some bad penalties in this game. That's something I don't think we'll see in Game 7 if there is a Game 7.
Turner Stevenson got really rammed hard by Mike Leclerc, but it was clean. Then Stevenson came back with looked like an attempt to spear him. Then he came with the right hand. So Mike Leclerc went in right there. Watch what happens here.
Yeah, he jabbed him and then he threw the right cross. Stevenson takes his 2nd minor in the game. And I think that'll be a topic for conversation if we get to a 7th game. And it's a double minor for the attempted spear, Bill. I think that's called. It's a 4-minute penalty. And I think that Pat Burns and his staff will address their team if there is a Game 7 and say, boys, you know what? This is not the character of the Devils.
A double minor, so the Ducks will get 4 minutes worth of power play time. If they score a power play goal in the first 2 minutes, the power play will continue. The other end, Jaguar able to hold it up. Jaguar is 8-1 at home, as are the Ducks this year. His goals against at home, 1.19. A save percentage of 9-6 and 3 shutouts on home ice for Jaguar. And he has held the Devils to 1 goal so far here.
Naturally, Mike Babcock will not bother with a forward on the point on this power play. He's got Carney and Havlet. Probably go with his regular defense pairs.
Don't want to give the Devils a short-handed chance against the forwards. Power play underway here. They've got Ruchin in front. Ruchin's looking for a hat trick. That deflects up and into the net. There's Steve Ruchin, who got a couple of goals the first 2 of the game against Brodeur. Ruchin now with 3 in this series, 7 in the playoffs, is the Ducks' leading goal scorer this playoff year.
I would still be aware, even though the Ducks have 3 minutes 18 seconds to work the power play, especially when Madden and Pandolfo are on the ice. They're not now. Niedermeyer is. Watch out. Short-handed.
Niedermeyer in, dropped it. Freeland, save made off the goaltender's stick. Up the near side boards. The Ducks move that one out of there. Couldn't be handled. Devils get it back. White will flip it the length of the ice. 2:57 left on the 4-minute power play. And almost as important as the fact it's a power play is the fact the Devils have to play short-handed for 4 minutes starting the third period. As the Devils know to get back, need all the time they can get. Elias is open in the middle. Elias tried to tip it. It went right through the paint. As Jaguar backed up.
Devils are using offensive players, Gianta, guys like that, to kill a penalty, to find offense short-handed.
Adam Oates will chase down in the corner. White avoided Missed the hit, rather, as Oates avoided it. Played up the near side. Elias with it. Devils change it. Elias into the zone again, all shorthanded for the Devils. Shot, save made by Jaguar. Madden's got it. Back up for Elias. Intercepted, cleared back up to Cheestop. Cheestop, the Devils still shorthanded here. Cheestop looking into the middle. Lodor knocked it away. Back up, center ice. Madden instead goes to the wall. Ozolinьш is back to get it. 2 minutes now left on the 4-minute advantage.
I think if the Mighty Ducks just play to a draw for 4 minutes, I mean, that is objective accomplished, which is knocking off 4 minutes on the clock.
There's the danger. There's Madden. Madden with Pandolfo. Pandolfo backhander knocked away. May have been on wide on the short side.
That was a Havlat turnover, and I'm telling you, the Devils think offense, offense, offense.
But the Mighty Ducks know they're thinking offense.
It is amazing. It's just amazing when Madden is out there that he's able to get short-handed chances virtually in every situation. Carlson drops it wide open in the middle. Havlat left it down low. Centered Sikora. Shot. Cheestop missed it. Score! Rebound near side. Sikora. Can you say Game 7?
Peter Sikora sure can. The former New Jersey Devil has kind of drilled a nail into the Game 6 coffin that the Devils were lying in anyway. Cheestop missed, and Marty Brodeur was out for the Cheestop chance, and he couldn't recover once he was on his back.
2 power play goals for the Ducks in this game. Maybe that'll help them come to Game 7.
Well, a lot of things that were ailing them might have been cured in this game.
Niedermeyer missed it. He was wide open. Didn't get it on net. LeClaire, a 5-1 lead for the Ducks. Power play is over. Another odd man. Langenbrunner's in the middle. Friesen takes it. He missed it. Went off the glass. Up for Niedermeyer. We may really see some wide open hockey now. Niedermeyer dropped it. Shot on Wisniewski's wide of the net. LeClaire trying to center. Pick back up Mike Rupp. Taken away by Oates. Oates leaves it. Wisniewski's chance blocked again.
The odd man rushes are now 7-1 in favor of the Devils. And if you ever saw that statistic, you would think, well, heck, they have to be ahead on the scoreboard.
Amazing, isn't it? This series has just gone every which way but the way you expected it to go. Back up onto the point. Niedermeyer chance that gets blocked up deep. Oates trying to run it out. Puck rolls to the corner after Gomez got knocked down.
And you know, Bill, most of those odd man rushes are short-handed by the Devils.
Coming into this game, it was 17-7. New Jersey had the odd man advantage. I mean, they've got all those kind of numbers. Elias missed it. Right now, they're not getting the shots on net. Back into Patrick Elias. Gomez, center, got blocked. Tommy Avalon. Sikora's goal at 3:57. Cheestop, Havelin get the assist. Power play goal is Sikora's second of this series, his 4th of the playoff year. The former Devil, Peter Sikora. Behind the net, Stevenson. Hits Sauer. Comes off the near side wall and out of the zone. Back Tommy Avalon. Left it in the middle for Breland. Sent back in by Chouinard. Chouinard is going to be the best man at Jaguar's wedding. Both of them are going to have to wait to don the tux. I think one more game. Back out Turner Stevenson. Gains the red, sends it in. Rayon coming over to get it. Rayon, Sauer ties him up. Played off the side of the net on the centering pass. And the Ducks flip it away. Jason Crow couldn't get it. Niedermeyer waits. Devils change. Near side Breland. Breland has feathered that one after he got hit by Ozolinьš. Stick in the face on Gianna. Penalty coming. So the Devils will get a power play chance. They are trailing the Ducks 5-1.
I found the first coach coach of the Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez. How has coaching a team in the movies changed your perspective of the game?
Well, it's certainly given me a different perspective of it. I have such respect for the players, man. They're just unbelievable. What these guys are going through, and to come this far is just extraordinary.
And for the coaches, from coach to coach, how is Mike Babcock doing his first year?
He's extraordinary too, man. He's the man. He's just awesome in my opinion.
Thanks, Emilio. Gary, Bill, JD.
Sam, thanks very much. The penalty was picked up by high-sticking Krog at 6:26. Second power play for the Devils. They are down 5-1 in this game with a little over 13 minutes left to go in it. Sent it off the stick of Keith Carney. For Marty Brodeur, just the second time this playoff year that he has given up 5 goals in a game. Keep in mind, Marty Brodeur came into this with the 5th best all-time mark.
Boy, there is some awful whacking going on in the corner.
Niedermayer pulls it out. Niedermayer drops it off. Brodeur 5th all-time in finals goals against. That one will be deflected back into the middle. Devils have an advantage here, but that one's going to be swung out of the zone by Carney.
Well, I think that was jousting going on in the corner. Oh, man, is it mean and tough in the trenches.
You got equipment being thrown across the ice by the officials after they left this end of the ice. Davidorski leaves it down low, tipped away by Paulson. Centering pass never got there. Friesen, though, was able to control. Back to Davidorski. Leaves it. Niedermayer. Niedermayer will dump it back. 53 left on the power play. Havlat turned it around, then got sandwiched. Down he went. Puck still loose over there. In a 5-1 game, players feel freer to go ahead and take some shots. Niedermayer, a little cross check on Madden. Madden has been yakking at him for 5 games. Comes back to Davidorski. Davidorski dropped it down low. Centering pass. Niedermayer clears.
Well, if there's anybody...
Look at center ice.
Paulson and Niedermayer. Scott Niedermayer, the Devil. Ooh, Niedermayer swung like he was going to hit a line drive. It's a good thing he pulled back.
He wound up. He wanted desperately to give him the two-hander.
You guys tell me if you think there's anybody on either team that isn't black and blue right now.
There's going to be aircraft dripping from the ice bags tomorrow flying across the country.
Stevens a chance deflected off the boards. Other side block. Keith Carney blocked that one. Played back up, Rafalski, another chance, gets blocked by Ruchin. Ruchin clears, penalty's over. They do not convert on it. The Devils shot. Brodeur just knocked that one down as Jason Crow came out of the box.
Here's what happened.
Brodeur is coming out of the game.
The end of the last shift, Sammy Paulson and Scott Niedermayer got into it.
Now that is one intelligent move by Pat Burns. Corey Schwab, who's hardly played all season. You see the 5-3-1 record. It makes sense. Game 7 2 nights from now, guys.
So Corey Schwab will come in. You do not get a chance to warm up. Schwab is in net. This is his 3rd ever playoff game. He has no playoff record. Shot. That one deflected off Breland wide of the net. Devils, this is not a power play now. 5-on-5. Stevens a chance. Busted. Stevenson a chance. That got blocked. Picked back up by Ozolinьš. Cleared out by Sikora. Boy, after you touch the puck, you better be ready for about a count of 3 because someone's still coming.
Well, the New Jersey Devils are hoping that this is not part of a déjà vu. At least half of it will be in place because they are going to likely lose this game. Back in 2001. In the Stanley Cup Finals, they led the Colorado Avs after Game 5, 3-2. But then in Game 6, Colorado victory. Game 7, Colorado victory. And the Devils saw the Stanley Cup slip away that they thought they had in their grasp.
That was Ray Bourque's only Stanley Cup. That's the drama that we saw there. 101st game of the season for Marty Brodeur. 101st of the season. He gets to sit now and start to recover for Game 7.
Corey Schwab in net. Detroit twice, the Rangers, Chicago, and New Jersey are the only teams in the Stanley Cup Final Series to have a 3-2 lead and lose it. Jaguar wants to keep the clock going. He did, but a penalty in front. Sammy Paulson got tied up with Rupp, and Paulson's going to go. The officials now, knowing where this game's at, likely to call some penalties to keep this thing under control.
Paulson picked up his man, Rupp, who tried to jump over the stick and finally went down.
Good play by Rupp to keep going, keep working it. I'd be really surprised if Mike Rupp does not make this Devils team next year. Speaking of Mikes, that was Babcock.
Speaking of Paulsons, that's Sammy.
There's Michael Robin. You know, we talked to him the other day, JD, and he credits Bob Witt, a real good guy and an ex-pro goalie that played for the Cleveland Crusaders, as being the most influential coach of his life when he coached at St. Edward's High in Cleveland.
Yeah, he said a lot of people have given up on him. And this coach, Bob Witt, the old goaltender, kept saying, give him a chance, give him a chance. And sure enough, now here he is in the NHL. He's 230 pounds. And guys, you don't teach size.
Langenbrunner shot went wide. Power play Devils. Near side, Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer looking back to the blue line. A little room. Tevodorski dishes off. 10 minutes to go. Third period. Devils power play number 3. The blast blocked in front in a lot of bodies that time. Friesen playing a point. Gets it back. They're looking in the middle. Langenbrunner's up high. Rucks down low. Langenbrunner very high shot. That one missed the net. The Devils must have 6-8 shots here in this period that have not been on net. Played back behind it by Keith Carney on the penalty killers.
Gary, almost all of them have missed high, too, and that's their book on Giguère. But when you try to hit top corners from a distance, it's a hard shot to hit. It's easier to hit the net down low because you've got the vertical element when you try to go high.
They're not hitting it. In the corner, Havlat took the hit. Soleil got the puck, cleared it around, not out of the zone. Again, they look down low. Shot. Score! From the point, Rafalski. Looked like that they have been redirected by Grant Marshall.
Credit Mike Rupp, the big forward, for drawing the power play to start with. And the Devils just kept firing pucks and a good deflection through Giguère. And it's 5-2 with 9:14 to go.
I think Brian Rafalski may be the best in the game at getting pucks through from the point. That blue stick of his, he usually wrists it through. That time he had room to slap it. But darn, he's good at getting pucks through to the net. And he got that one right through to Grant Marshall.
Grant Marshall won a cup with the Dallas Stars. As we look at the Southwest goal cam, the view from inside the net, deflected by Marshall. Boy, he's hard to move in front of the net.
Most unlikely scorer. There's Rafalski, who set it up with a shot. Grant Marshall having a playoff year. Nobody could have realized what happened. It is now a 5-2 lead for the Ducks.
And Corey Schwab has not seen a shot yet, has he, in goal for the Devils?
Not one.
Oh, and I think that's probably just fine with Corey.
He's going to see one. Yeah, that's right. Niedermeyer moving it in. Pinned up by White in the corner. Rob Niedermeyer. The Mighty Ducks looking to take this to Game 7 Monday night in New Jersey. Behind the net, LeClaire brings it out. Shot it into the middle. Schwab blocked it. And it's cleared. Could be an icing call here. Sauer back. The touch and paid the price as Madden went into him. The goal picked up by Marshall. Rafalski and Elias the assist. The Stanley Cup, ABC Sports Championship Television.
You gotta love this sign. Carol Niedermeyer, the mom of Scott and Rob, who are competing as brothers against one another. Scott, your mom wants Rob to win. Listen to Mom. And Carol is here. She's crisscrossing the country with the boys.
She's going coast to coast.
I think she's flying on the charters, though, is she?
Oh, I don't
Nobody goes on the chart.
Nobody. Nobody.
You'd have to be a stowaway.
That's right. Jason Kroll got that face-off. Ozolinьш a chance. Larry Schwab reaching out, never got to him. Came back to Breland. Breland will move that one out through center. Backed up, shot by Breland. That one goes wide. If the Ducks win this game and they are up 5-2, it's going to be another home ice win. The first 6 games will have all gone to the team playing on their home ice. Rayon cleared that one up. Turner Stevenson center. Giguère gets run into by Breland and his own man as they went back into the net. Devils will get it back at the other end.
Well, the Devils have tied an NHL record with 11 home wins in a playoff year. They're 11-1. The Ducks will go to 9-1 at home.
Amazing, isn't it? Just amazing. The last time a team won a Stanley Cup with a losing record on the road, you got to go back to '74. Last time that happened. Peter Sikora, former Devil, a factor for the Ducks.
You think, and I'm not 100% sure here, but are the Ducks trying to save some of their guys here? It's 5-2 with 7:41 to go. The game is not, I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
Well, it's the perfect time to give your fourth line more ice. Mark Schminnard's done a good job. Jason Krog.
And even the third line, Bill. So the top 2 lines not getting as much as normal because they play in 2 nights if it goes to 7.
Off the near side, will be moved up by Rupp. Dumped it out of there. Thomas drops it back. Both teams, Ducks rather, changing here. Off the near side, moving back in, Steve Thomas. His shot got blocked. Devils flip it out of the zone. Rupp got it out of there. Soleil will come back to play it. And will touch that one up for a delayed icing call there. Soleil wanted to just keep the clock going.
I think your point's well taken, JD. Paul Kariya has played under 4 minutes here in the third period.
I just think it's smart. I mean, he got throttled, as we all know, in the second period. It was a clean hit by Scott Stevens, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think he was going to be back until next season. He's had a concussion problem in the past. That helmet helps him too, by the way.
He hit his head hard on the ice when he went down, but he does wear the helmet that helps you guard against concussion because it pads the back of your head for just such a situation.
And doesn't come flying off on impact, so that when you hit your head, the helmet's still on.
LeClaire a chance. Schwab, welcome to the game. Corey Schwab knocks that one down and hangs on. 6:52 left. Game 6. We're headed for Game 7. Paul Kariya, first three-point playoff game since '99. Marty Brodeur, 2-3 in his career in the finals. So a must win.
Those light replays. Paul Kariya. He silenced the crowd when he went down after the Stevens hit, and then he brought him to their feet.
In front, puck loose, backhanded wide of Corey Schwab. Teodorski got dumped with LeClaire in front of the net. Cleared back up, intended for Gianda. So Marty Brodeur is going to be 2-4 in cup final games in which his team could clinch. They had the chance to clinch here. They got another one on Monday. But the Ducks will have the same opportunity. Jaguar able to hang on. We remind you this broadcast also available in high definition.
I've heard that so many times. You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I got to get a high-def television. I've had phone calls, people raving about it. You can see the puck. You do a lot of different things.
We know face-offs are going to be important, obviously, in Game 7. The people at Mission make a special right glove for Adam Oates. He wears their gloves. It's like a surgeon's glove. It is so tight. I tried to get it on my hand, and my hands are a little bigger than Adam's. I couldn't even get it on. We talked about his history with lacrosse and what a terrific player he was. That's the influence of lacrosse. They wear much tighter gloves. Adam Oates, as a lacrosse player, was a 3-time MVP in Etobicoke. In one game, 29 points.
See, that's pretty good.
That's pretty
good. In any game, when you get 29 points, that's pretty good. Cleared around by Jaguar. Lacrosse is a great game, and hand-eye coordination in that sport phenomenal. That one bounced out of the zone by Sauer. These Mighty Ducks on the verge of taking the Stanley Cup Finals to a Game 7. It doesn't happen very often. The Ducks are going to get there. Keep in mind, this is the first time they have been to the finals. If indeed we get a Game 7, it'll be the 12th time in finals history that there has been one. Cleared back in, wide of the net. Played by Rapolsky. Dropped it off for Niedermeyer. 5:25 left. Ducks came on strong in this game, getting a 3-0 lead at the end of the first period. A couple of goals by Ruth, one by Thomas, and now the high sticks and gloves get up again.
Submarine job.
Low bridge by Pascal Rayon on Marc Chouinard.
He went in and then went down low. That could be dangerous regarding knees.
Marc Chouinard was actually lucky on the play that he was facing backwards to Rayon. He turned. Had he been side on, he had a major problem.
Pressure is on this man, Steve and Christina. Steve said that he would marry Christina, his long-term girlfriend of 7 years, if the Ducks win the Stanley Cup. Well, after this game, looks like they're 60 minutes away, guys.
Well, what's the deal here? Does Christina stand no chance if they lose? I mean, is Steve just sort of coming across with the ring if they win?
I think he's ready.
And by the way, do they know the Devils are pretty good on home ice?
I think he's ready, no matter what. They're going to go to New-Jersey. So on the game-winning goal, our camera will be focused on them. Of course, you never know what the game-winning goal is.
Nice story.
Nice story, but all right. 4:55 left in the third.
We wish them luck. You'll never see them again.
Rayon tripping at 14:45. This is the 7th power play of the game. As the Mighty Ducks on the advantage, they have picked up 2 power play goals. Game to Soleil. just going to rag it off here. They're on the power play, but they're acting more like they're penalty killing. The Ducks ahead to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer sends it in. They're not concerned about adding another goal as much as they are about getting to 0 on the clock. Soleil waits. They had not cleared as Thomas got knocked down in the zone. So they'll get a whistle. Trying to win a game 7 on the road is not easy. There is a home ice advantage if the numbers are right in game 7s.
Boy, home teams have won 9 of 11. You worked all season for it.
I played in a game 7 on the road that we won, but it wasn't in the finals. When I played in Calgary, the game was in Philadelphia and it was in the 80s, but that wasn't the finals.
Devils will take it back home where they're 11-1.
It was for Calgary in Philadelphia.
You bet.
Against Bobby Clark.
And it was a hard place to win. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the old Spectrum.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Irony is that the Devils, the last 2 times they won the cup, they were far better on the road than they were at home. Pat Burns, one of the things he wanted to do was get this thing turned around this year for home ice. They did it during the regular season, and they have really done it here in the playoffs.
And I think that'll be their theme for Game 7. I really do. We're worked all season. We're at home.
Go get it. That one deflected. That'll go up and over the glass with 3:33 left to go.
And that begs the other question about Joe Nieuwendyk, who took warm-up tonight because he wanted to feel a part of the team, not ready to play. But another couple of days.
Problem is he hasn't skated, JD, and boy, that wouldn't even be fair to him.
And the other thing, Bill, is, and we'll have Game 7 Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. That's Joe Nieuwendyk skating in warm-up. The last game he played was in Ottawa. You guys were there for it. He lasted a couple of shifts early in the first period, and he had to call it quits.
Yeah.
You can't do that to your team. You have to be sure you're ready to play the full 60 minutes.
That's the deal.
Or somebody else has to play in your place.
Pat Burns wants 4 lines, and if you have a player in there you're not sure about, that's really tough.
I would really be surprised if he dresses for Game 7.
And here in this game, full marks to the Ducks for being able to handle that toughness that the Devils have that they showed the Ducks in Game 5 in New-Jersey.
This is going to be just the 4th time in finals history where the first 6 games of the finals have been won by the home team. You've got to go all the way back to 1971, Chicago-Montreal for the last time that happened. But the Ducks are about to win another home game to even this thing up at 3-3 with 2:57 left to go. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey here. That's going to be touched up behind the net by White. But both of these teams know there's going to be another game in this 2003 season.
You think Brodor's any good after he gets blown out of a game? Just a bit. He is 5-0 in the playoffs after allowing 5 or more goals. Don't worry about this guy's elasticity. He bounces back.
That'll be game number 102 for him to finish up the season.
He gave up 5 goals against Boston this year, came back in the next game, shutout.
The only thing he doesn't want is overtime. Strange record he has in overtime, isn't it?
He just can't win overtime games.
Was it 8-18 lifetime?
8-18.
And the Ducks are on the other end of the graphic.
They're 7-0. Cleared back out of the zone. They are the first team ever to win the first 7 overtime games that they have played in a finals year. That one gets bounced away. Ducks controlling. 2:28 left to go here. A 5-2 lead for the Mighty Ducks, who jumped out to that early 3-0 lead and have not looked back. Ruchin got 2, Thomas got 1. Pandolfo got the Devils on the board. Then Correa and Sikora scored. Marshall has picked up a goal. An assist from Rafalski and Elias here in the 3rd period. 5-2 Ducks.
God, you know what I think one of the selling points Pat Burns will try to use on his team is at the beginning of the season, if I told you we could play Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals as a team together, would you take it? Yes, they might not have wanted it 2 days ago, but they'll try to sell that now.
Niedermeyer's got it.
The resiliency of the Ducks, something else. I thought maybe with that Stevens hit on Correa, that would be it.
But I think Correa coming back made a big difference.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also think even before he came back, his team didn't fold.
No, they didn't fold.
His team stood up.
This is the last game the Mighty Ducks will play in Anaheim this year. They are the Cinderella story of the 2003 playoffs, and their fans are on their feet with 1:23 left to go and applauding for the season, for this game, and for Game 7. Paulson dumped it in front. Picked up by Tevodovsky. He will move it out. This is the 10th year of Ducks history. Penalty coming up here. This team has never even remotely come this far in the playoffs.
Patrick Elias, I think. No, Marshall. Van Marshall.
Obstruction! It's called obstruction tripping. A sneaky little trip on Chouinard, who goes down. And again, the Ducks have rested a number of their star forwards throughout this third period, as have the Devils in resting Marty Brodeur the last half of this third period. Boy, this has developed into a great series, hasn't it?
We will have Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Someone will skate the cup. We guarantee you that. It may be Monday night or Tuesday morning, but they will skate the cup. Game 7 at 8 Eastern on Monday, under a minute left to go. Anaheim in the first 5 games of this series, 9 power plays. Tonight, this is their 8th power play of the game. That'll be whistled for a face-off at center. Fans, they're going to stand for the remainder of this one. Last time a home team won the first 6. Back there, Montreal, Chicago. The road team won Game 7. How about that? Paulson puts a little late hit on, and see if anything comes of this. Paulson is still at it with Rayom while the play goes on. There they are. The puck just went behind them. Now Rayom comes out to the point to cover. The Devils moving it out of the zone. Soleil back to get it.
Gary, remember what Mike Babcock, the head coach of the Mighty Ducks, said before this game? He said, we can be tight and tentative or loose and driving. They have been loose and driving. They have not been tight and tentative.
And they've won 3 of the last 4 against the Devils. They've all been on home ice. But does this set up the showdown or what?
All right, just enjoy it, everybody. The Mighty Ducks are going to win this 5-2, Game 7 Monday. From the pond, they send the Ducks on to New Jersey. And we may see a lot more of this in the final 0.4 of a second.
You will read the box score tomorrow, the box score, and White and Thomas will get 2 minutes each at the 20-minute mark of the third period.
Paul Kariya with a comeback tonight, and look at his coach.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is the biggest endorsement an athlete can ever get. He had his arms around him. He had his cheek against his cheek. That was one of those I am so proud of you moments that Paul Kariya will remember. And I'll tell you, Mike Babcock will remember how Paul Kariya responded after being laid out by Scott Stevens here in Game 6.
And again, it was a clean hit. And for Paul Kariya, I think the whole hockey world will know exactly what he came back from in this game.
That's it. Ducks 5, Devils 2, Game 7 Monday.
So the Mighty Ducks force a 7th and deciding game in the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals with a decisive 5-2 win at home. They get another power play goal early in the period, Brian, from Peter Sikora, another of the big guns, to pretty much salt this one away. Brodeur gets pulled midway through the period. Now we're going back to New Jersey. The home team has won every game in this series. Why?
You know what? And that's hard to say, because the interesting thing from a coaching standpoint in this series is that Pat Burns didn't get too caught up in matching lines. So he didn't have a specific line out there all the time whenever Paul Kariya was on the ice. He matched up Scott Stevens against Paul Kariya for obvious reasons. But other than that, you wouldn't think that home ice advantage would be or would make such a huge difference in this series. The Mighty Ducks have to get on the plane, as do the New Jersey Devils after this game. This game was a Saturday night. They fly all the way to the East Coast. They play Monday night. Both teams are exhausted at this point. Both teams only need one win. Obviously, one more game to determine the Stanley Cup final. The Ducks were unable to get it done in that game, number 7. For the first time, we saw a couple of cracks with J.S. Shiger. He let in a goal that maybe he would like to have back. But Anaheim was just unable to generate any offense whatsoever in Game 7. It just looked to me in Game 7 that they just plain ran out of gas.
Well, the Ducks didn't have any luck at all, despite not winning any of the 4 games in New Jersey in this series. They lost all 3 by 3 goals, and Game 7 would be the all-too-familiar 3-0 shutout, as was the case in Games 1 and 2 as well. But for Anaheim, As well as New Jersey, you talk about having no success on the road. There was two schools of thought as far as the coaches go as well, outside of matching lines or not, the way they handled their teams on the off day and practicing and when they traveled and whether they skated or not. Pat Burns would come to Anaheim with his team and say, look, boys, this is a travel day. We're not going to skate. Then the morning skate on the day of the game was the only time they would skate. The other side of the coin was Anaheim and Mike Babcock would get in, and they would get a skate on that travel day. It didn't matter. It didn't work for either of them.
Yeah, you know what? Completely different philosophies, and I think it was the right philosophy for both teams. So keep in mind that the Devils had a few more veterans in the lineup. Players like Scott Stevens hate to practice. They don't want to be out there on the ice. As for the Mighty Ducks, they had a lot of young players in the lineup, and young players making big contributions like Sammy Paulson and like Stan Chistoff. And the players get used to a routine. And the one thing that never changes for any coach, regardless of his philosophy, you don't change once you get into the playoffs. And remember, Mike Babcock said right from the beginning, you know, we need to treat everything just like it's a continuation of the regular season. We do everything the same. And boy, it worked out great for his club. One game away.
Unlike games 3 and 4 at the Pond of this series, where all the drama was at the end with the Ducks winning in overtime, the Ducks get the crowd in this one, Game 6, right away with the big first period, and by the time they get to the end of the game, you know, the final outcome is already pretty well sealed. But the building, the one thing I will always take from these 3 games and the entire playoff run was the electricity in the building. You and I know we're on press row where we aren't usually, and I think we were able to take that in a little more than we would normally when we're broadcasting a game, and I was really taken by the building, the electricity, the atmosphere at the Arrowhead Pond.
Yeah, we're all yearning for those days when hockey once again captures the spotlight in Southern California. It was a very special time for not only Mighty Duck fans, but I think for all of Southern California, because this was a Cinderella team. They were the hottest team in the National Hockey League from the beginning of January through to the end of the regular season, but nobody gave this club a chance of doing anything once the postseason rolled around, and boy, did they prove everybody wrong. And so many players, you know, I really think sent a message that they had arrived on the scene as legitimate, not only NHL players, but big-time NHL players. Steve Ruchin, J.S. Shiger, Niedermeyer was outstanding for the Mighty Ducks for the postseason. And I really think that nucleus is still here in Anaheim, and we're all kind of hoping that we get play a little hockey in the near future again to see what these guys are going to be about this season.
Well, what a run it was and what fun it was, and the Ducks continued it and took that run as far as they could with their victory in Game 6 on June 7, 2003, a 5-2 decision over the New Jersey Devils to force a 7th and deciding game in the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, subsequently the Devils winning that game 3-0 to win the series 4-3 and capture the cup. For Brian Hayward, I'm John Allers. Thanks for being with us on another edition of Mighty Ducks Classics.